just as Jehovah was with my Lord the King, so let
Eric, I met a householder last week who asked, what hope is there for those who have died? I was hoping you could help me get some information from the scriptures.
Yeah, no, I'd like to help you with that, and I'm thinking maybe we could turn to the introduction of our Bibles and see if that topic is discussed.
Well, question 12, what hope can we have for the dead?
All right, and that's on, let's see, what page is that? Right, so page 23, what hope can we have for the dead? And we can see they've selected 3 scriptures, right? And we can probably use this. This is something, the information we'll talk about now, you can use as a simple outline when you call back on the householder to kind of guide your conversation. So why don't we start by just looking at that first scripture? Do you mind reading it?
Sure. Do not be amazed at this, for the hour is coming in which all those in mortal tombs will hear his voice and come out.
Excellent. So what's this scripture talking about here?
Well, Jesus speaks to his disciples, and they're talking about the resurrection, right?
Exactly, and I think that's really the point that all these 3 scriptures are going to bring out is about the resurrection. So we want to keep that in mind, and that's something that I think the next one we can get into, and I'll read that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. It says, there is going to be a resurrection of both the righteous and the unrighteous. So it might be a little confusing, but the unrighteous here are those that had died before the resurrection and did not have a relationship with Jehovah. So they were ignorant of Jehovah's will. And they're going to have an opportunity after the resurrection. Jehovah is going to resurrect perhaps billions of people back to a paradise earth. And at that point, they're going to be taught Jehovah's righteous standards, and they're going to choose them to live by them. So they're not going to be resurrected back to earth, only to be judged again based on their former deeds.
That's really something nice to share with a household, especially if they have someone recently lost someone.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful hope, and I think that, being that we speak to so many people that are affected by death, really nobody's immune to it, that's going to be an encouraging scripture to share. All right, so let's move on to that last one there, Revelation. You want to read that?
Sure. I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and scrolls were opened, but another scroll was opened. It was a scroll of life. The dead were judged out of those things written in the scrolls according to their deeds. And the sea gave up the dead in it, and the death and the grave gave up the dead in them. And they were judged individually according to their deeds.
All right, nice. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of figurative language in these 2 scriptures, and it might be a little confusing, but I think if you're able to kind of break this down for the householder, it's essentially saying that when those that are going to be resurrected come back to this paradise earth, they're not going to be immediately judged on their previous course of life, right, before they knew Jehovah's laws. So it's a loving provision by Jehovah where they're going to be able to live for a period of time and choose to obey God's commandments and show that they do that out of love. So that's something nice to look forward to.
I like how the questions was answered with the 3 scriptures. I think we'll be able to share these with him, and hopefully we'll be able to talk more about the resurrection.
No, I think that's a good plan, and it's always probably good to keep in mind, have a copy of the Bible Teach book, because depending on how the conversation goes, you can either leave them with a question or maybe make arrangements to return.
I like that. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, no problem, and look forward to maybe helping you out on that call after the break.
I probably will.